everyone, to Red Stain Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bryson, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Stevie.
Hello.
And Maddie.
Hello, people. How's it going?
Hey, good. How are y'all?
We're doing fantastic, right?
Awesome to hear.
Pretty good week. Everything's going great.
Thank you, listeners, viewers, for being here. This is episode 12 of Red Stain Radio. We'll be talking about the new original chapter reveal, Sinister Grace, featuring the Krisu as the killer and V. Bunyasak as the survivor. We'll also be giving our thoughts on the upcoming changes that hit the BTB and respond to some listener emails. Last week, we mentioned we have a bit of a backlog of listener emails. We'll be getting to those this week. So thank you so much for holding out, and we're excited to get to those. But first, we want to remind listeners that you can send us your questions, discussion ideas, and comments by emailing us at redstainradio@gmail.com. We'd love it if listeners would leave us a review on the platform that they listen to, Spotify, Apple, or any other platforms that support reviews. It really supports the podcast. It helps us get more listeners, and we just really are grateful. And I actually did see more reviews come in through Spotify. I think we're up to 10 at a 4.9 star, which is awesome. So thank you all so much who left a review. Yes.
Thank you for all the reviews.
No, we're a top podcast. Thanks to y'all. Keep listening.
Thank you all so much. Before we get to the topic of the show, we have some quick DVD news to cover. Dead by Daylight made a cameo in the anime Night of the Living Dead, a horror comedy anime where the world is ravaged by zombie apocalypse, but instead of zombies, it's cats. Dwight and Meg make cameos as background characters. I've actually seen screenshots of these going around. They actually look really good in the anime. Actually, their character models are just straight pulled from Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. It's just default outfit on an anime guy, and it's pretty cute.
It looks great. Yeah, it kind of makes me want a DVD anime in a way. But DVD's collaborating with this anime in Future Cosmetics. We don't really know much about that, but we're excited to see what that comes to fruition. Any comments on this?
Even if it's just like a random t-shirt, even if it's a little like anime charm of a cat, I think that'll be fine. Like the For Honor collab that happened.
That was not a
charm.
collab.
That was one charm. That's a For Honor collab.
No.
We got one
I'm
charm.
so salty about that. Foreigner got a whole ass event. It was super cool.
Yeah,
and we got a
whole
charm.
We could have got Legion Peacekeeper, but no.
No, we didn't get anything. That would've been
Really
so
unfortunate.
Cool.
Do either of you watch this anime or are familiar with it?
No, but I've been meaning to. It sounds super funny. It sounds super fun. It's just
it sounds
cats.
cute.
I love cats.
Same.
I'm not an anime watcher, so it's not on my list.
I'm not either. I do some here and there. I still want to get around to the cyberpunk anime. I just haven't yet. So
okay, well that's Kino, I think. Just the parts I've seen.
Yeah.
It's like it's an anime, but it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Okay, fine. Oh,
It's like the Arcane of Cyberpunk.
Oh my god, you're right.
Gotcha. I'm making a second season, so maybe I'll watch it when that hits. Cool. So we don't know whether the cosmetics are going to be. I would presume since Meg and Dwight are in the show, and Meg cameo, they'll also get cosmetics. We'll see in the future.
Probably.
It's kind of cosmetics are weird in that they can branch out of that horror genre. Like, we have Rainbow Six Siege, we've had PUBG, weird collabs regardless. But looking forward to it. And cosmetics, they can shoot for the stars for those.
Exactly.
Finally, the final vote for the first phase of the Grimoire has wrapped up. With this likely means we won't have any new votes in the next 2 weeks as Behavior focuses on what we had voted on this chapter. So they need to start the process of actually implementing it when game coding or power perks, whatever, getting on to the next phase of really the specificity of this killer and survivor. This is what we know about the survivor as of right now. They come from the collapsed world. They live a life of suffering. The collapse took everything from them. We changed the fate to life of endless mysteries. So we know about the killer. They chose the door of the divine investigator, sought out the worst of the collapse, and want to reverse it. Before the collapse, they were spiritual scientists, used passion for the natural world to find empirical meaning in the divine. Very, very cool. And the trait that defines us is unknown, either being objectives, survival, altruism, or boldness. That was the latest vote.
Voting closed, and it seemed like
Mhm.
it was just kind of a, what would you like their perks to be?
Yeah.
If y'all
What did
choose
y'all vote for?
objectives, it's over for you. I'm sorry. If you chose objectives, I'm not talking to you.
I chose
I don't want this
survival.
guy to be a gen jockey.
I picked boldness. I want something like
I was gonna say
a,
yes.
I want
Boldness
like
sounds
another
so
champion of
fun.
light type of perk. I want
Exactly.
like
Oh,
a palette
yeah.
save perk.
Mm-hmm.
Let the
Champion
guy throw
Light's
a
such a good
vial of
perk.
acid at the killer or something. I don't know.
Ooh.
There you go. This is what we know about the killer. They are of otherworldly killer. They are divine, so we're kind of going the angelic route. They are wielder of exalted truths, a noble, terrifying, but beautiful. They use torment. Sorry, my Grammarly is blocking my wording. They are wielder of exalted truth. No, I read that. They use torments to pursue others. You deliver truths through curses and ailments and grow over time. They deliver their truths by punishing heart misdeeds will be met with devastating response to sin is to suffer. Yeah, fire quote by the way. Yeah,
Yeah,
now that you
exactly.
mentioned
I
that.
was reading it. I was like, who wrote this? Hello? Okay.
The DVD team really know how to write it, other than that short time
Exactly.
where there were really bad cosmetic descriptions.
Yeah.
Once
She
her
went
hair
to the
was
party
blue.
and wore her favorite shirt.
Oh, that was dark times. Dark times.
She liked
Yes.
her hair this way.
She liked
Yeah.
her hair this way.
Yeah.
Exactly, Stevie.
Oh man, check out some of those. They're hilarious and meme worthy. And the last verse asks us, what is sin? Being each sin is unique. Specific ailments for each sin must pray. All sins are the same. The most sins are, they have the more they suffer. Only prayer can save them. Or all sinners are the same. Everyone should be punished by their neighbor's sins. Only prayer can save them. What did we choose here for the killer?
I closed my eyes and picked on one.
That's
Nice.
fair. I chose each sin is unique just because most killers that have a mark kind of do it the same way. Like, Ghostface, he stalks you. Plague, they put the spit on you, or you interact something with spit. Pinhead, he has like that universal thing. I just think the idea of a killer who controls the map by inflicting different status effects on you depending on what you're doing. Like, if you're doing too many gens, maybe the killer will put a gen penalty on you and you have to do something that's not gens. Or maybe if you're in chase too much with the killer, you get penalized by like a hindered and then you have to try and hide for them. Something like that. I think that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. I chose all sinners are the same.
That makes sense.
I just kind of liked the vibe that was giving off, and didn't really think much. I'm just kind of going off vibes here with my votes. I'm not really thinking gameplay wise. I'm sure that'll change when things start to solidify, because again, these are just conceptual phases. So yeah, very much looking forward to what they move into the next phase.
Yeah.
It's very nebulous still, which I like. I don't want the community to have a, should they be 110 or 115? I want
Are
want the devs
slowest
to cook
or Are
it.
they fast as fuck, guys?
Yeah, let us make the
Yeah.
pizza order and then they can cook it.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
just hope there's no like, do you want them to be a dash killer? Thankfully, everyone said no to that. So, good job, guys.
Yeah. I think conceptually, I think behavior will come up with the right path, and then we'll just kind of select. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
With that, let's get to the top of the show. This is all about the Sinister Grace chapter, because last week it dropped the day after we recorded, so we didn't really have a chance. We knew it was the Kresu, but we weren't sure about power or perks or the survivor, so we're going to get into it now. We'll also get into more of those BTB changes and our thoughts on those, and we've even got some updates regarding some of those mechanics as well. First, let's get into the new killer, the Kresu. In human form, she can spit. Let's get into her power first. I'll jump in here and I'll get everyone's thoughts. In human form, she can spit on survivors to leech them. The spit bounces and splatters around their environment, which you should try to get as much as possible. In her head form, she switches to a third-person view, and she can injure survivors with her intestinal whip. Such a cool weapon. If a survivor is fully leeched. If survivors are not leeched already, she will add some progress to your leech meter. I actually tested this out. It takes about 3 hits if you're not leeched already, for her to get you leeched. So it's pretty time consuming. So you should probably spit on them first. She can also glide along the ground quickly using headlong flight. There is a bar that you can fill up, or not fill up, but like use up. So it is limited, but it goes quite a bit of way. She cannot break pallets in head form, but she can quickly vault over them, which is really cool. And then survivors get rid of leech by eating mushrooms that spawn around the map or appear where the Kursu transitions from human form to head form. CV, I'll jump to you first. Just overview. Did you get a chance to play the Kursu? What are your thoughts on this? Um,
Oh, I mean, I didn't play her. I didn't boot up the PTB this time. I wasn't
That's fair.
super interested in it. But it very much seems like she's a weird Chucky, where she can
Yeah.
kind of activate her power and it doesn't do too much unless she's done well outside of her power. The leech seems like a much easier way of doing a projectile than like giving a generous hitbox to a Huntress Axe or making the big grenade explosion on UVX. It seems
mhm.
like it's coded to kind of have a ricochet, and the ricochet, if you hit like a wall versus the floor, it'll do something different. Where if you hit the floor, it'll just delete the projectile, but if you hit a wall, it'll create a bunch of spikes with this blood leech,
Yeah, very
and
cool.
those spikes seem to kind of go towards survivors, so it makes it a little bit more of a, you won't be as frustrated from missing your projectile.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If she is that simple, where you just kind of shoot at a wall and chase and then swap to head form, then all the counterplay will be about how do you dodge the head dash. And that's like kind of a simple juke where as soon as they commit to the dash, you just peel away at the right side or go around the short side of a loop. She seems like she'll be strong if you can't figure out where she's coming from. If she sneaks up on you with the head travel where she just slips behind a wall, that could be strong. I ultimately think she's not going to be as strong as behavior thinks she will be. Her map pressure is kind of limited by how fast people can remove leech
Yeah.
and how fast she can punish people for just spreading out.
Yeah, she her the head like dashing thing, like she's very much on the floor, like face down, coming at you, which Maddie and I tried at the PTB, which kind of scared us a little bit. Like
Oh,
she
good.
and like you go into first person, so that's when you're in head mode. You go into first person when you're along the floor, whereas when you come out of that, you're back in third, which is really bizarre. But like she moves
Okay.
very quickly, it goes very far, and I saw like the best plays being it pretending to be like Wraith, where you go and you body block from a pallet or a vault, and those are the best plays I've seen with that kind of ability. So yeah, that's really interesting. And then the blood splatter, like you mentioned, doesn't do anything when it hits the floor, but you really got to hit it on like above things like trees or a wall, similar to the Unknown's UVX, where it does bounce and it'll explode on impact. I had a really hard time with this because maybe I'm just bad with angles, or I need to get better geometry or something. But like I just couldn't get my angles right and very much missed my splatter a lot. And I got it a lot of windows, which was helpful. But yeah, it was really weird to maneuver. But I enjoyed playing her nonetheless. Maddie, what do you think?
Honestly, I have a few things to say to yap about, so I'm sorry if I
No, go
say
for
too
it.
much. Also, ooh, Steve, drink. Can I have that drink? Sorry, I saw it and I was like, ooh, thank you.
You're old enough, yeah.
Anyways, now that I'm fresh, fresh? No. Now that I'm instantly refreshed by Stevie's wonderful drink, I guess the first thing I can say is that for me, I feel like the strongest thing about the Crusoe is the strongest thing about uh Dracula and Chucky, that being the third person view. It makes Tiles a lot stronger. Though I wouldn't say she's as strong as the other two. Well, as
Mhm.
Dracula, Chucky's pretty doggy, sorry. Because she can't really harm people unless they're fully infected. And something that we forgot to mention is that there are actually two levels to leech. In the first
Mhm.
level, you're infected, and it'll slowly build up to level two. If you get to level two, you get broken if you're injured, and you get injured if you're healthy. So there's kind of an incentive to just get rid of it as soon as possible, instead of just kind of keeping it like you would with Plague. Which I like. They learned from Plague and they put something a bit more dangerous into her kit, so it's not like, oh, I'm leeched. Don't care.
Mhm.
However, I do think there are some issues with Kursu. That being that I'm coining a new term, official term that's totally never been coined before. I'm calling it Chucky Slop. So it started with Chucky, obviously, where he could scamper under a pallet, and there was not much you can do. Then this was kind of continued with Kaneki, where he could kidnap Tekio, and even though that's not really considered a Chucky thing, I consider it a Chucky thing. He's going through a pallet. That's bullshit. But same thing with this killer, though she can't automatically hit you, there are certain situations where you'll throw down a pallet, you're fully leeched, she'll jump over it, and then there's nothing you can do. It's like, oh, you're gonna get hit. And some people say, like, oh, just juke to the side. If she's right on your ass and she's just quick at M1, yeah, she does like the pounce no matter what, but if you're right in front of her, she's gonna hit you. Your hitbox is pretty big.
Hmm.
Let's not lie here. You're like a pill, but the pill is like a foam big. Like, if the Kursu is like this, you're like this. You're like, oh no, you're getting hit. But besides that whole issue with the whole vaulting thing, which I feel like should be either slowed down a little bit or there should be a little more incentive for the killer to just not do that. Because from what I'm seeing, they kind of want people to throw pallets in front of her and to try and run away versus breaking them or versus not and try to loop around it, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of like a trade-off for the being in head form. Like, oh, you can't break pallets, but you can vault over them, and you can do the whole dash thing. And that's another thing, actually, before I continue my prior point. Why did they make her kind of a dash killer? Like, she's not really a dash killer, but she feels like it. And with the Michael changes that made him a dash killer, I'm a little angry.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Her intestinal whip is weird too because I was really trying to get it around corners too, and it
And
does
you can't really
not
do
have
that.
much give,
Yeah.
like much curve to it, which is weird. So it's really just a longer,
M1.
yeah, like you're holding it
One
longer and it
bunch.
goes a little further, but not by
Yeah.
much. Um, yeah, it's funny you bring up the palette, the Chucky slop. I didn't even
Mhm.
think about that, but that's very true. Like Scamper enters the palette, and then
Right.
the
It's a
ghoul.
scamper cheese. It's
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's.
Yeah.
I hope that isn't a trend going forward.
Yeah.
We've had these three killers. We don't need more.
I will say though, we didn't include this in the show notes, and I really want to talk about it. They recently did a bug fix, not a buff, a bug fix, where they got rid of a lot of dead zones on maps and added more pallets. For most killers, that's gonna be painful, but for uh the Kursu and Dracula, they're gonna love that
Hmm.
because oh wait, we're better than that. We're built different. Also, I just realized I've been saying Dracula. Wait, no, not Dracula. Who is the other person who goes over pallets besides Junkie? Kaneki, thank you.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
Yeah.
no,
But like,
yeah. You said Kaneki when you were talking
Hmm.
oh, thank God.
about dash slop and
Thank
scamper
you.
cheese.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Kaneki, and I feel like the Kursu are going to see a lot better than this, because Kaneki can still kidnap. Yeah, you can run a bit now instead of being locked in place, but he's still coming for you, and the Kursu can still infect you. And
Hmm.
another problem that I have with the Kursu is how easy it is for her to get her leech on you. Like, in her tentacle form, it's actually a challenge. You have to hit them several times. It's really easy. That's totally fine. I like that. However, in her human form, all she has to do is hit you with the ball once. Now, that's pretty hard. If you get hit by the ball, you get hit, but the ball's really hard to hit because it's like really tiny and you kind of have to hit that hill again. So, like, going back to our demonstration, here's a chocobo pin. This is you, but you're like this. And the ball is like, and then you're gone.
Hmm.
Like, she's not going to hit you. But if she hits a wall, it goes from this to like this. It's like a huge
Oh yeah.
curve.
It
Especially if you hit a
explodes out.
wall really
It
high.
fans out.
It's like a shower. Like that's
Yeah.
the gamer's number one fear besides a job application. They're
There's
gonna
a
get
shower.
showered and then you're gonna get infected. And then you're gonna be like, oh God, I'm dead, I'm dying. And I like the idea, but when you have that on such a short cooldown, because it's only like a 2 second cooldown or something for the ball in her human form,
Hmm.
there's not much you can do. It feels good for the killer to progress from the human form to the Kursu head form. My problem is that for Survivor, it gets kind of repetitive, I found really quickly. Like you're running, you're trying not to get hit by the ball. As soon as you get hit by the ball, gurge, whatever it's called, I don't know
Vomit.
what it's called. The regurgitation. Once you get
Yes.
hit by that, she immediately goes into head form, and now she's gonna be that for the rest of the chase. Because you can get rid of it in chase, because it takes like 3 seconds to eat a mushroom, and you're like half speed. She's gonna touch you. So that's another thing I don't like. All right, I'm done being negative. Those are the things I don't like about Krisu. Here are the things I do like about Krisu. First off, I love her design and I love her lore. If you haven't read her lore,
I
it's
haven't.
a little. It's not overly complex. I feel like for some characters, they try to make them this super complicated, tragic character. Krisu is just fucking evil. And I love that for her.
Nice.
Like,
Love to
basically,
see it.
for TLDR in the lore, I could be wrong, but from what I understood, basically, she was an opera singer. One of her colleagues was like, hey, drink this potion. She was like, I. She does it. She starts to feel weird. every night she starts waking up with a bit of blood and like dead stuff. And eventually, one of her friends is dead next to her when she wakes up, and she's like, "What did you do?" And she's like, "I passed on my curse to you. I'm not cursed anymore." And she's
Wow.
like, "You bitch!" And she kills her, I think, and she fully accepts being the Kusu. And then one day the fall comes, and she's like, "I bet I'm not opera singer anymore,
Damn.
but
That's cool.
I gotta get that blood."
Hmm.
Ah. So I really like her lore because we need more evil women who are just evil. Because for like a solid period there, we kept getting tragic characters.
Yeah.
Even with our latest female original killer, the Hellmaster, she's pretty tragic too. Like she got
Hmm.
abandoned on an island. She saw her dad die. She goes to get revenge. Not super super evil. Yeah, she kind of got like a mean streak when she became an adult, but like there was sympathy. This killer, she's mainly evil. Like this bitch, as soon as she drank that potion, she was going boom, boom, bang. You're all dead. So I love
Oh
that about
yeah.
her lore, and
She
of
was a
course her design.
little unwillingly cursed, but she
A
never at
little,
one point was like, "Oh, this is bad for everyone." It was
Hmm.
yeah,
always, "Oh, I woke up in a chicken coop with dead chickens.
hell
Oh
yeah,
well, I guess I'll go about my day.
exactly.
Oh,
We
I
love a
killed my
bad
friend in
bitch.
my sleep. I guess I'll just hide the body and be the number one because she was better than me and now I'm the best. I
Exactly,
guess I'll just live with this curse. Oh
exactly.
well."
She's like, oh no, I'm number one now. Oh no. So I really like her lore, and I feel like I just have to say this. It's very obvious. Her design is amazing. Seeing
Oh yeah.
her go from her human form that looks almost like a survivor, except for the huge gouge on her neck, to this
And the scary
terrifying head
smiles.
form that just tries to touch
Scary.
you with her intestines, and she's got the bloody face. Very cool,
The
very
face
terrifying,
animations are so good.
and
They
those
just have her
animations are
smiling the
great.
whole
Oh,
time,
it's
Yeah,
creepy as
laughing,
hell.
and being
yeah.
creepy.
I will say the only downside her design is they tried to make her scary and they got rid of her human face in the head form, which, according to the original tale, she should just have a normal head. Which
The
thankfully they did include her
the
very rare eyes.
cosmetics, yeah, the cosmetics you
Yeah.
pick for her head change the head form head as
Yeah,
well.
that's another thing
Hmm.
too. I like how even though you're in your power for like half the match, you still get like your cosmetics to show up if you have that headpiece on. It makes sense. It's cool. I like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts. I like her add-ons. I feel like they're really fun, especially Rooster Head. If you haven't used it, do. It's pretty funny. And I also like the mushroom mechanic. I feel like it's pretty simple to go get them. I feel like it's kind of like neat that you're just kind of eating mushrooms, getting that side effect removed. I like the animation. I like how every time the killer goes into the form, head form, she drops one. So you're not just like entirely fucked if you all messed up. And I don't know. I just like how the mushroom mechanic works because it's like if she tries to put herself in a powerful position, there's a way for you to take that away.
Hmm.
There's leeway in that. So she can be pretty OP, but you can take away that OPness, and she has to fight for it. Though right now she's kind of like, I'm just gonna touch you, and then yeah. So yeah, overall, really like her. Kind of sad she's kind of Chucky core, and hopefully they change her a little bit of nerves. And yeah, I know she's not the strongest killer. She should probably be buffed, but I feel like they could change things, like make it so you could swing around with her dash thing easier, but make the cooldown on her spit and her human form longer. Just because it should not be 2 seconds. Why did they make it 2 seconds? I don't get it.
Yeah, her map pressure I think is going to be pretty weak compared to like plagues,
Chronic or something.
because you're not punished for eating the mushrooms. They're readily abundant from what I found in the PTP. I just
Yeah.
didn't really see, and even playing her against bots, like I did fine against bots, but like I just didn't play public matches on the BTB because the queue times were terrible. Um,
Yeah.
like I sat there for 10 minutes and still it wasn't a game. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something else. But yeah, I just think her map pressure isn't going to be great. It's really going to come down to chases. You're going to have to body block at those pallets and those windows and really monopolize on that head form and
It's gonna
jumping
be
over
tough for a
those.
lot of people to figure their way with her exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Stuff like gonna be on like the higher skill flooring, I think. Of like, when do I chase this person? Should I infect everyone before I start going for downs and try to get everyone to use the mushrooms, stuff like that? Compared to someone like Huntress where it's like just kind of getting used to the aim.
Yeah, and I rarely saw someone go to Leech too, so maybe they'll increase the rate in which that's gained or decrease the
Yeah.
amount of mushrooms that spawn. But yeah, in the BTB, she just felt fine to play, in my opinion. She definitely won't be something that's in my rotation a lot, but
Same.
cool killer concept nonetheless. And oh, really good at voice acting too. It's all in Thai, which is
Yes.
great. Great addition. I know V is bilingual, which is cool. The killer may be as well, but I don't think I heard any
No,
English.
I think she's only speaks in Thai. I don't think
Yeah,
she speaks
so
English.
which is great. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah.
Let's get into her perks, and then we'll jump into V as well. Killer perks. Hex Overture of Doom. The farthest generator from the hex becomes cursed. When survivors pair the cursed gen for 5 seconds, the killer's tear radius transfers to the cursed gen for 30 seconds, and they gain undetectable. There's Ravenous. Gain a token for hooking a survivor for the first time. When you get 4 tokens, all survivors suffer from expose for 60 seconds and scream. Wandering Eye. When you start chasing a survivor, you see the auras of injured survivors within 60 meters of the location for 5 seconds. Overture of Doom, not good.
No, it's mid.
This is bad. Like this, why would you run this over? What's the unknown perk where you kick a gen and transfer your terror radius?
No, you're thinking unforeseen?
Yeah, unforeseen. Which with unforeseen you have to kick the gen, whereas this activates on its own. Fair. However, you have that all game. This is a hex that can be cleansed very quickly.
Exactly.
At the start of the game, presumably. But yeah, not a
Also,
great perk.
hear me out.
Go for it.
Hear me out. Dark Devotion is right there. Why would I use a hex form that can be cleansed when I can just hit my obsession and then go find someone else?
Yeah.
I think the idea is that they're putting a lot of value in letting you know when a survivor is touching a generator. Theoretically, if this is the furthest gen from the totem, if the survivors spawned on the totem, you don't have the perk. It's gone. It's a waste of slot. If you spawn next to the totem and survivors spawn as far away from you as possible, you only have 5 seconds before you know that they're right there, as far away as from possible across the map. You can kind of save time by knowing that they're at the furthest gen. This is, however, if they spawn on the gen that's cursed. There's a 1 in 7 chance that they spawn on the gen that's cursed, and I think theoretically if they do the gen before they cleanse the totem, it transfers it to another generator.
Yeah, it transfers to the second newest generator.
It's kind of like a very specific surveillance unforeseen tinkerer
My only problem is you kind of just said it yourself, Tinkerer is right there, so why not just use Tinkerer? That also grants you undetectable.
Tinkerer goes off 5 times in a match if you've lost the match.
Exactly.
This perk maybe goes off twice.
There could be more uses, yeah.
Is this the first time a perk has introduced the cursed effect for gens? There's just
Ruin.
Ruin is curses a gen?
It doesn't curse gen, but curses all players when they start preparing a gen.
Sorry. Yeah, I meant cursing a generator specifically. I think
a generator specifically.
I think this is pretty
we've
cool
had compromising a generator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Of them.
So curse could be a cool addition. Maybe this is something addition they're adding now, and maybe that will come with more perks later on. That's a cool. I think creating curse generators as a really unique mechanic and could be implemented in future perks, but I think in this iteration, it's just fine. I think you have better perks to run here. So let's get into some perks that are actually kind of cool. Ravenous is really cool. You're hooking the all 4 survivors, then everyone becomes exposed and for 60 seconds, and they scream. So this, you could run this with a mobility killer. You could run this with blight or whatnot, or just to add some pressure. People who are exposed, especially if they're new players, they might even know what exposed is, but if they do, they're probably like, okay, I'm gonna hide for 60 seconds. You could add a little bit of slowdown there. But also a lot of people run Friends to the End. That would be pair really well with this. But yeah, what do we think about Ravenous?
Davey, you can go first.
The idea of running this by itself is a little odd, but if you pair it with, say, a stealth killer, if you pair it with, say, barbecue and chili or grim embrace, I hope they don't pass that base kit barbecue, because I like default barbecue. I like seeing everyone. But theoretically, right, if you've hooked 4 people, you got all 4 tokens, there's a little pressure on everyone. Now, if you know where all the survivors are after hooking that 4th person, you can kind of have 60 seconds where you deny every survivor from doing stuff. If you know Jake is on the generator, you just hooked Dwight, Meg and Claudette have to go find you wherever you are. Now you can find one of them, put them on the floor, and then the other one can't go for the save, or else you put them down. It's an interesting way to do it, but it's 60 seconds on every survivor. You're going to get value off downing one person once. It's not Devour Hope which is like the win more exposed perk. It's not
Mm-hmm.
Haunted Grounds, which is 60 seconds, but Haunted Grounds usually gets cleansed when you need it, right? Right before you're about to hit someone, somebody cleanses it, and now that person goes down. This
Exactly.
one goes off right after you've hooked someone, so you're not in chase with someone. You don't really have info unless you bring info perks. So this perk is just by itself, it's gonna feel a little wasted if it only procs once and at the wrong moment.
Mm-hmm. Maddie?
uh, I guess
How do you
I
like it?
to that. You kind of stated a lot of what I wanted to say, Stevie. Though I'm gonna go a step further. I think this perk, without the tunneling and slugging changes, is very bad, or not very bad. It's very mid, I should say, like
Correct.
painfully mid.
Big time.
And my reasoning is kind of similar to what you said. Haunted ground in all cases is just better. Yeah, there's the small chance that they don't cleanse it, but like if you're in a survivor match and you see a glowing totem, that thing's going. Like there's nothing you can do. Someone's gonna find it and then it's gonna go away. So haunted ground is almost always gonna pop off, unless you're spirit, and then you're like, wait, who put that
It's
there?
the adept spirit, guys. Don't
No,
pre-drop every pallet and don't cleanse any bones.
exactly. But kind of like what you said, it doesn't really grant information with the changes for tunneling and slugging not going through. But also another thing that I think is important is that when you get that fourth stack, someone's already on hook. So you don't have four people exposed, you have three. One person's basically safe, quote unquote. Because
Mm-hmm.
this is the first hook. So they're on their first hook, they're just chilling. And realistically, one or two people are just gonna hide and wait for you to leave, and then they're gonna save that survivor. And it's like, oh, there's two of them there, but I'm not gonna go for the guy who got unhooked. I could maybe go for the guy unhooked. That's a down maybe. But the other two are not gonna get affected at all. And basically you've got maybe two downs if you're lucky, or one. And that's not gonna feel good at all. And
Yeah.
Haunted Ground, like you said, it kind of pops off when you need it most. So like if you do that, then it's like, oh, now I can go search around the map and find people and get them off gens. I'm getting double pressure. Another problem, or I guess another thing, is that it really is dependent on finding where people are. So you're going to be either running barbecue, friends to the end, at which point you just want to use friends at the end. Friends to the end, you won't really want to use that. Or something like lethal pursuer, or something like that, basically. And that's another thing. Why not just use friends at the end? Because even though it only shows one person, if it's the obsession, they get exposed and you get to see their aura. And if you're playing someone who's stealthy or really fast, by that point, you just want to be like using that perk instead of
Yeah.
this perk.
And it'll
Especially
proc
since
more.
exactly, I was gonna say that. Friendly End can proc like what, 11 times?
Yeah.
And this perk only procs once.
Hmm.
And Haunted Ground also procs once, but like you can use perks like Undying to get 2 times value. This
Yeah.
You can
perk
use Retribution because that'll proc at the same time as Haunted Grounds.
Mhm.
Now all the people you see are exposed.
exactly.
But
But
this
this
perk, you're not going to see everyone exposed. You're going to see two
yeah.
people injured who gets the exposed
Mhm.
status effect. You've got one guy on hook, and there's only one healthy survivor who you would get
Yeah.
value from killing.
This perk might see a bit more relevance once the tunneling update goes through and they decide to keep the base kit barbecue. But even then, I feel like you just want to use Friendly and or other perks like that. Overall, this is not a great perk. I was excited when I first saw it, but when I kind of sat with it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not that great. Fun, but not that great.
Wandering Eye, on the other hand, when you start chasing survivors, see the aura of when you start chasing a survivor, you see the auras of injured survivors within 60 meters. If you pair this with maybe like nurses or like even with barbecue, I mean, just nurse in general is going to feast off this. With most
Literally.
nurses run aura reading perks anyways or builds. Yeah, she's gonna eat good with this one here.
I fear once again Nurse 8 with another aura reading perk. And this is why we never get good aura reading perks, because nurses think, what if I do?
There's so many aura reading perks. There's so many. Like in nearly every situation, there's an aura reading perk. It's
This
kind of
is
a
why they
bummer.
need to nerf the nurse, but not make her the worst killer. She still needs to be up there, but like, I just think they need to change her power. I feel like, okay, or saving that for the next episode. I'm sorry. Ignore me. We're moving on.
Yeah, nurse definitely needs a nerf. But any other comments on the Chris Sue before we move forward?
I love her. She's awesome. Probably won't play
She's
her
wonderful.
super often, but I still love
Mhm.
that she's in the game. I still
Agreed.
love how cool she is, and her power is unique. I feel like
Yeah.
that should be said. It is unique, even if it's stuff like Tucky Slop, Dash Slop, Slop Flop.
Well said. We have a new survivor, V Bunyasak. These are the 3 perks for her. Ghost Notes. When you're exhausted, your scratch marks disappear 50% faster, and increases the recovery rate from exhausted by 10%. I've seen this paired with lightweight, and it was crazy how quickly people
Yeah,
were.
what, like 2.5-second scratch marks
It's
when you're injured?
insane.
Oh,
I expect this to maybe get a tweak before live, but like it was extremely good, and paired with Vigil, and which we'll actually get to
oh
a
my
Vigil's change
god.
later. Paired with Vigil, if you have that as well, like you're gonna be, you got a great,
Mhm.
you got a very very good chase build here.
Yes.
A little bit
Another,
strong.
Yeah.
yeah, it's very.
But we need more
I
good
expect.
survival perks, so people will use other stuff.
Yeah, I expected to get. Yeah, I expected to get tweaked a little bit beforehand, but yeah, the
Yeah.
videos I saw, I did not use it myself, other than my first match, but I didn't really know how to use it at
Yeah.
the time. But yeah, I saw people start to like really get into it, and it looked like a fun perk. So I'm excited to try it when it comes to live. Hopefully they don't butcher it before then. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. While standing still, press the activate button to start a performance. This lasts up to 15 seconds. Empowers survivors within 16 meters. Triggers continuous skill checks. After a successful performance, survivors healing or repairing experience 20% more skill checks for 90 seconds and has a 90-second cooldown. Thoughts here, Maddie? I know you have a little note here. What are your thoughts?
I'm a big fan. I really like this perk. It's not super broken. It's okay, and I think that's really nice. We need more perks that are like not OP, not super game warping or strong, just like nice perks that you can equip and be like, yeah, I feel like this is helping me. I
Hmm.
will say though, where the fuck is V pulling this little drum from? Like with the bards, it makes sense. Like they're elves, they've got magic. Where is she pulling this from? Like, is it the fog? Can she
She's
do it?
magic too.
Is she
Hmm.
magic?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't really read her lore, sadly. I've only read The Killer, so I have no idea.
Hmm.
Maybe she is just magic.
She's a drummer, I think.
She is
Like I
a
know
drummer.
that at
She's
least.
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah,
She just has perfect tempo.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
she just can materialize a tambourine, much
Also,
like
really
any good
quick thing
drummer.
I want to add that I kind of noticed and I started thinking about a lot recently. Every single survivor in this game that can speak English. Like when I first heard V, I was like, oh, she's a Thai survivor. Cool. She speaks in Thai. And I thought she was only going to speak in Thai. And then when she got hooked and she started speaking English, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And it just kind of feels like a Marvel movie, not gonna lie, where everyone just kind of inexplicably speaks
You're
English,
right.
even the aliens and the gods.
Hmm.
It's like, pop off clean. And there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you want people to like kind of get what they're saying, and some people don't have subtitle on, so they're probably like, what did she say? So they want to have like some English lines, so some English players are like, oh, that's what she said. I do think it's funny though that NCD is like, can you speak English? And if they're like, no, they're like, okay, get the fuck out. I want people who can speak English. It's like, okay, we got prejudice, entity. Jokes aside,
Oh.
though, back to your drum perk. I feel like it's really good. I feel like
Hmm.
the whole skill tech thing has a lot of synergy, not with just generators and hyper focus, which is pretty powerful. It makes autodidact really good, which I enjoy because it's so hard to get skill checks. I think with autodidact and this perk, you get like a 5% increased chance to get skill checks, so that's pretty good. That's
Hmm.
like almost two skill checks on the autodidact guarantee when you're healing someone. So love that. And yeah, I just feel like this perk is Butter Bark Inspiration. I like it a lot. Please use it. Thank you.
You have a
I want
whole.
to see this a lot. I want to see it a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was fun to use. I know a lot of people were like pairing it with Bardic Inspiration. Eventually, we were going to have 4 musical perks. I know. I just know we will, and soon we will
Exactly.
just have a whole band in the realm as
Someone's gonna
as
get
we
a
go
good
through.
electric
Oh
guitar. I
God,
can
that's
roll it.
gonna be too strong. I'm gonna be Pig, and I'm gonna walk up to the survivors, all standing around Shack. I won't be
Hmm.
able to attack them because I'll have to let them finish their
Yeah,
performance, or
you're
else I
legally
won't get to
obligated
see it.
to.
This happened to me last time I played Pig, like the other day. It's survivors just start acting friendly, and they use their items and their perks to be cute, and I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't kill them.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I want to reject my comment about everyone speaking English in Dead by Daylight. I was sitting here, and then you mentioned the killer, and I was like, wait a minute, she just does not speak English.
No, killers don't. Nah,
I'm
No.
fucking
killers
wrong.
killers curse to
All the
themselves in the easiest
survivors
language.
speak English, but the
Hmm.
killers can be like, oh, I only speak in Thai. So that leads to the question, why does the NCT capture people who can speak English? And why is it a requirement to be taken by the FOC? Like, is the NCT like, oh, you're traumatized, can you speak English? This is really important.
It might not be a requirement, but just like the entity just translates for everyone. Like and to us, it's
Ah, that
just
makes sense. Okay.
like
Girlies,
it's
we're
just like a
not thinking.
built-in modulator or something. I don't know.
It's
But
the
then why don't they
babblefish.
do that for Killer? That's my question.
Because the
'Cause
killer
I'm
doesn't
sure-
talk to anyone.
Yeah, I'm sure some killers don't even talk. Like I
Birds
don't
are
think Trapper
alone.
says a word.
No, he's kind of
like
answer menacingly.
like I'm sure
Same
he
thing
just
with, like,
grunts and
Ray.
breathes heavily.
Yeah,
Oh
but like,
god,
what
if,
about
if I just
TV
heard
though?
Trapper
Like, if they
grunting
add
and
like
breathing heavily, that would be it for me. I'd be
yeah, but what about 2v8 and they add Kursu? She's gonna be speaking Thai, and then Ken
Mhm.
Kaneki's gonna be speaking Japanese, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you saying?"
But they'll
And
have
then
this.
all the
They'll have
survivors are
one
like,
goal.
"You speak English," and they're like, "Yeah, yeah." And then she's just in the corner like, "I made them all understand English because why not?"
Mhm.
Plague was the first though. She's speaking the oldest
Mm,
language, and she's
yeah.
the oldest killer to speak as well.
She's pulling out the arriba.
I forgot she's got voice lines when she's got her power.
Dinger
First, I
Bokuba.
think.
Let's get to our final perk, which is it's a perk. When you're injured and repairing a gen, regular skill checks do the following. This is road life, by the way. You gain. So when you're doing skill checks, you could do one of these three things: gain +1 token for great repair skill checks, gain 0 tokens for good repair skill checks. You lose 2 tokens for failed repair skill checks. Once you've accumulated at least 6 tokens, consume all your tokens and increase your healing speed by 100%. This does not work while you're broken. What a terrible perk. What an awful perk. Why
the
is
word-
this? Why is this a perk?
It's really weird.
In the
Like
words
what?
of that one girl from Dan's Moms, I think her name's Abby, boring, sloppy. This perk is just worse botany knowledge.
Like
I don't
just
know
run
how to do
body or we'll
I
make
just do
it
it
or
body.
just something like that. Like
I would say even the do no harm is probably the best healing perk
Yeah.
for like just a random support player. It's
Exactly.
50% if they've been hooked once and 100% if they've been hooked twice.
mhm.
So if you take road life at 6 stacks, you basically could have just been running road life and healing the person that needed it most, or running do no harm. But road life, theoretically, you're the first person to get on a gen. Killer has a good chase, downs one person. Now you have 100% heal on one person who maybe got unhooked or maybe got slugged. So it's kind of like if you had a situational we'll make it, a situational we're going to live forever. But that requires having 6 good skill check tokens.
Not good, great.
Great.
You have a
Oh my
great skill
god.
check.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
You get 0.
it should be
This
1
is
token for good
boost
skill checks,
everything.
2 for great skill checks.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're running like Stakeout and like a hyper focus build, why not just bring botany knowledge or do no harm? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe if they like double the numbers, then people would be like, ooh. But like even then, that's kind of a hard ask.
And you
I feel like
lose
you
2
could-
tokens
you
You
could
if
make
you
this
miss.
broken and it wouldn't even be that good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Like, like you could make it 200%. I don't think it would matter. Like it's and less than the token requirement. Like it doesn't.
I think actually like the game is hard coded to stop you at 100% heal speed.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Like if you have Wiglif and Botany, the Botany doesn't apply. If you have
That's
like
weird.
We'll Make It and Botany,
Mm.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that the game is still
wow.
hard coded to cap you at
I don't
a
like
bonus
that.
100%.
No, thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah, weird perk. I don't see this being used by anyone unless you're doing Adept, which is probably the only time I'll use it. So,
I'm here.
which is unfortunate. So, but I digress. Quick little update regarding the tunneling and slugging reduction updates. Those aren't happening, or they're not coming to
Ooh.
live at least yet. They announced back last week on Friday these would not be going to live, but will return to a PTB later and once they're iterated on. So we'll see changes to that. I've seen a lot of ideas going around in the subreddit and just like amongst the community. We'll see what happens. I didn't see a lot of stuff against the slugging update, so I'm actually shocked that's not going into live, but I thought it was fine. I got slugged once in the PTB, and like 90 seconds feels so long when you're on the ground. And I even just like it was in game. I was able to get up and I just saved the person who was getting camped at the hook.
Yeah.
And I just died myself, which was fine. I didn't mind, but
I was
like
there for that.
just like but like 90 seconds just was a really long time, and I didn't think it was too bad. I don't like the base kit and tenacity, but we'll see what they do in the future. It's interesting to see that. In addition to this, any associated perks changes will also not go to live. So, for example, tenacity isn't going to get changed, or barbecue and chili, which the new barbecue and chili was just bad anyways, like really, really bad, like so much worse. I don't even remember what they changed it to, but it
Oh,
was not good.
they changed it to when you hook all four survivors, you now can just have 5% gen regresh on every kick.
Over
Yo, yeah.
5%.
Terrible.
That's
Fucking
It's bad.
terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. What a
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
so
my
if you're
god.
okay, I'm not even gonna go into that. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, it was a
Uh
reverted change that where they
yeah.
tested. It's gone.
It's not coming
It's
in. Don't worry, guys.
terrible, terrible. So that's good. Very good to hear that. We're excited to see what they iterate on and see in the future. So let's get into Michael Myers rework, which I did test with Maddie and some other Steven, a friend of ours. And y'all, I've got some thoughts. First of all, like I thought, I like the toggle. I like being able to switch between stealthy and pursuer mode. They also added a startup animation for when you do activate Evil Incarnate, which is cool. And then for survivors, Michael's weapon will glow. I think it like glows white, which is cool. So you know, hey,
Oh.
if he hits me with whatever he's gonna hit me with, I'm gonna go down.
Yeah.
The dash is like I would say like a worse in
It's
terms
like a
of
pink arch.
mobility. Yeah, it's I would say, but I'd say it's worse than that because it was like I feel like pig you can curve around things much more
Yeah,
easily.
it's not pig. Nothing
Yeah.
beats pig because you can hold, well, I'm saying this, but like
Mhm.
pig lets you just hold A and D and you can fully go to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
you don't have to curve your mouse to curve it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where Michael, I was having a really hard time making tight turns. Like I could do arches, like wide arches, but getting around like a tight turn at a loop was really tough for me. And then it just destroys pallets, which is cool. It's like a better slice and dice, I guess. But
I
it just
wish they
felt
gave that buff to
weird.
pig.
Yeah, yeah, and the dash goes far. Like it's pretty. It's like 15 meters. I don't really know the exact, but it's quite a ways away, and I just don't like it. Like it just didn't feel like Michael. I really wish just people were exposed. I think that just makes him so much simpler. I think these changes are going to go to live, which is unfortunate, but
Yes.
um, yeah, I just wish that they would drop this. We'll see. Maybe after he'll get another pass, but I feel like he's going to be a dash killer going forward. So it's really
It's tough
unfortunate.
because I liked playing Mike how he was before. Popping a 99 on survivors and just putting them on the floor was worth it for like all the struggle you had to do to get to that point. And
Yeah,
I know it did
Honestly,
not feel good and there was no counterplay.
yeah, and you
honestly,
you still can run scratch mirror. By the way, like you will still see the aura of people while
yeah.
you're stalking, which is cool. You can still do that
Yeah.
play. I'll probably just do that from now on because that's fun. Michael, go ahead, Maddie.
I will say, this rework so far, everything I like about it, I feel like they kind of kept like the core of Michael Myers there with like his stealth form and the evil within. It's just the dash. I feel like if they got rid of the dash and made it so everyone was exposed, everyone would be happy because
Hmm.
it's an update. It lets you toggle what form you want and let you have more control, and it's a bit easier for survivors to understand when he pops his thing. There's still that startup animation. He looks at his knife and the knife is glowing. It lets you know, hey, he can instant on you. Just get rid of the dash. I feel like it's boring. And if they want to keep like the whole breaking pallet thing, just make it so he has a longer lunge, and if he hits a pallet, it's gone. Boom, scary. Just get rid of the dash. No one
Yeah,
likes the dash.
yeah.
Sorry,
So
I'm tired of the dash. I'm tired of dash
we
stuff.
all are. We
In
all
the
are.
era.
Right? Unless it's Hillbilly Chainsaw, I don't think it's a good dash.
Exactly. It's not the
Hmm.
same. I don't like
Hmm.
I've been
Hillbilly,
trying
but I
Hillbilly
respect it.
recently, and if Michael comes out, I'm never touching Michael. I'm just sticking to Hillbilly, just
Hmm.
sticking to the other stealth killers.
Bruh.
I
Yeah,
just want
Blight's
like a
my
killer
go-to
who does
dash.
their thing. I don't want a killer that's got too much stuff going on and then it changes too many times. I want a killer who does the thing that they're
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like his dash was like kind of not intuitive to use. Like you had to hold M2 and
Yeah.
then you had to hit M1 to move forward with the dash. But if you
Mhm.
let go of M2, you stopped early. So you have
Yeah.
to
It's
through the
weird.
whole
It's just
dash, you have to hold M2, which is really bizarre.
It's
And
awkward.
so like
yeah.
if you wanted to stop it early, it would hit you would just let go. But like it just felt really bizarre and not intuitive and yeah, I was really bummed by it, and so I'll leave it at that. But I think behavior has hurt everyone's complaints with this. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to do anything, but maybe I'll be proven wrong when it goes live. Finally, we have some perk changes. These are just some ones that I thought were notable, things that will not be removed because of the slugging and tunneling, but things that will probably move to live, maybe. And that's really Jin slowdown and regression perks were nerfed. This includes Pain Res, Pop, Dead Man's Interruption. I think all of the effects of those was decreased. Like Pain Res went from 20 to 12. Eruption went from like 10 to 5. Things like that. Like pretty steep nerfs, I'd say like either 50% or more. Although Oppression and Ruin were buffed, so Ruin, it's now 150 or 125 regression rate, and Oppression has a less cooldown, and instead of affecting 4 gens, it affects 5 now, which is cool. Oppression, I've actually seen a lot, and the reason I brought this in, Oppression I've seen a lot more lately. Like, it's gotten a lot of buffs recently in the past few updates, so to see that continue is interesting. Vigil is no longer going to stack, so if multiple people on your team have Vigil, they aren't going to stack. Hope was nerfed. You get less speed boost there. I don't remember what it is now, so excuse me for that. And then, yeah, those are kind of the big ones I thought. But like, Paint Res is getting its third nerf, I think. It's still probably going to be one of the most used Gen regression perks. Like, it's still a really good perk. So
I will say it probably might not see actually a whole lot of play anymore though, because 12% on current gen progress is not as significant as 20.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it does regress it, but like I feel like at 12, people can still pop a gen if you're nearby hooking and they're at like 9. Like there's very specific scenarios where it's good, but with it is now, I feel like there's a lot of scenarios where you'll somehow figure out, oh, that gen got popped and I got 12% off. Nice. I'm gonna run over there and it's popped. I don't feel like it's gonna, because like when it got nerfed the first time, I think it got nerfed to like what 15 or like 13 or something like
Just
that.
like 27 down to 15 down
Yeah,
to
and no one used it.
24.
This is 12% now, and you can only use it 4 times. I don't think it's gonna see use. I'm sorry. I just feel like Pain Res is probably not worth it anymore. Like it's decent. It's not good anymore. It's decent. And I feel like in the current killer meta, you can't do decent anymore. Which is another whole tangent. So I'm just gonna say it now. Now that we're looking at the perks. Killer is going through the dark ages right now, I think. Because the
Yeah, these are
strongest
rough.
killers in the game are minorly affected, while the weakest killers in the game are affected heavily. Like
Yeah.
Anya was about to get shot in the back of the head in that alleyway.
Look at the
Now
flowers.
she's being beat up in a chair. Like she isn't dying anymore, but she's certainly suffering. Like in terms of like pain, she's like falling down the well all over again by her dad or mom or whoever it is, and it's just not a good time for killers because we once again got not great perks for killer because we had Springtrap, who I'm sorry, I love him. He had one good perk. The other two were pretty buns. And we got the new killer who has one good perk. And that perk is not even that great on her. It's good on Nurse, and every aura reading perk is good on Nurse. Let's be for real. So once again, Killer is gonna be put in a position where they're not getting strong stuff, and survivors are getting a bit stronger. Like they're not getting super perk buffs. I think they're getting like a few perk buffs, but in terms of killer perk buffs, I think they got 4, and I think Survivor got like 7. And I just feel like with everything going on, the tunneling and slugging thing, even though that's delayed, I feel like that really hurt them, the killer players, because they're like thinking, oh, behavior doesn't like us. So I feel like we're gonna go for a period, especially with the gen regression nerfs, with some of the most popular ones being nerfed. Killer mains are just not gonna have fun, and we're probably gonna see longer survivor queue times as less people want to play killer. Like me personally, I love playing killer, but with everything going on right now, I just don't feel like I'm gonna have fun. So I'm just playing more survivor, and I feel more comfortable because I feel like the biggest problem with killer and survivor and the whole tunneling thing is the reason they were doing that wasn't because of bad manners. It's because they didn't feel like they had room to make mistakes and they didn't have room to kind of like play the game fairly in like people's words. They had to be super sweaty to have a chance. And when they introduced the tunneling slugging and keep introducing okay killers like B or maybe A if they're lucky, instead of like A plus killers or really good perks, it kind of puts them lower and lower and lower in strength for survivors kind of like slowly kind of go up. Not like skyrocketing like when boons were really popular with Circle of Healing, but like steadily going up. And though they stopped it from drastically increasing with the slugging and tunneling, it's still declining, and I feel like it's going to decline a lot more and a lot more noticeable with all these gem regression perks. So overall, sorry for yapping, but the perks, Boss and Nurse, I get why they did it, but there's no trade-off, and I feel like that's going to harm a lot of the low-tier killers, and killer rates are going to go down. There's going to be less killer players, and I feel like they'll need to introduce something to combat that, whether that be just adding the incentive not to tunnel and slug, and not including all the other stuff like, oh, if you kill someone really early, you can't kick gens, and they get a spare speed buff or something like that. Because right now, I feel like it's not going to be a good time.
Mhm.
Anyways, I'm done yapping. Back to you guys.
Stevie, your thoughts?
I like where you're coming from. I'm no longer a baby killer player, but
Mhm.
like I'll play the weaker killers most of the time, and I
Yeah.
notice that it'll feel like the games I win are too easy, and the
Hmm.
games I lose, I feel like, if I had 4 slowdown perks, I would have lost harder, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Um, I feel like in the games I lose, it is not because generators go too quick. It is because survivors understand how to counterplay my power, and I'm looking
Yeah.
for that opening. I'm looking for that lapse in their judgment, memory, or when they panic. And it's harder to beat that. It's harder to beat it when a good survivor can win the game no matter kind of what the killer is bringing. So I feel like when we nerf slowdown perks, it's to kind of fix that gap where somebody lost a match and then they put 4 slowdown perks on and then they got the lower MMR and then they stomped so hard that no one had a chance to even come back. I think that if perks like pain res were kind of keeping weaker teams just from, like that 4 stack of survive with friends who just booted up the game and after a couple wins, now they're only going up against 4 slowdown blights. I
Yeah.
think that is probably what more people run into than that game where they barely clutched it at 5 generators done, and it was all thanks to their Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yeah.
I
And I
think
feel
it,
like,
it
oh,
it'll
sorry.
be that type of gameplay where we can only really see people improving if things are a lot closer in skill. And I think Killers had it good for a little while this year,
They
but
had me put down a big.
yeah.
Yeah, just kind of to add on what you said, Stevie, something that I kind of just realized when you were talking about that, the MMR system is not that great either. So it's kind
Yeah.
of not really looking at skill. It's looking at, did you kill more than 2 people or did you escape? It doesn't even take into consideration how many people are unhooked, how many blood points you got, your score. It only determines if you got 3K or if you escaped. And so it's not really calculating the skill. Like the survivors who are on high MMR, they're just escaping a lot. And there's no difference between like a baby Dwight who just hides the entire game, gets hatched, versus the 3,000 hour Meg who's like constantly dodging the killer's attacks, vaulting, using pallets optimally. And that kind of goes in hand with what you said about killer perks and stuff. Because the killer who's trying to find a mistake in that survivor and they're using those 4 gen slowdown perks, but they can never catch them, that survivor will eventually escape and get out and they'll go down and lose that. And that's going to ignore everything that the teammates are doing. Like, just kind of word salad right now, but you kind of get what I'm saying, hopefully.
It's hard to say it, right? It's hard to say that like a killer who's better is one that uses weaker perks in
Mhm.
that sense where they're perks that kind of don't really change the gameplay as like a formula. Because if you bring Pop Goes a Weasel, Pain Res, and then you're also bringing like Blood Favor, you've kind of told the survivors you have to do 2 more gens and you can't use pallets every 30 seconds. It's a little bit of a different game than somebody just bringing like aura reading perks
Yeah.
and like chase perks because that's
Yeah.
something you kind of have to deal with in the moment versus the entire game is different and now you have to work around different rules.
Yeah, I think you all hit it on the head really well in terms of like a lot of the reason these changes are occurring is because of that player balance, which is at the core of DVD very flawed because we have a very flawed MMR system. Like you said, Maddie, it doesn't take into account how many people you unhooked or how long you looped the killer. It only counts for survivors if you escaped or died, and killers how many people you killed. That is it. It's very black and white. And they did delay the MMR update to next year, so I'm very eager to see what that looks like. But it very much needs an overhaul, and I think the tunneling and slugging, that happens in all facets of the MMR system. But I think the pain points people have with those mechanics and those, play styles really comes down to where you fall on that bell curve of MMR. So, and that goes with perks as well. Like you have high MMR players who may not run any gen regression or slowdown perks, and it's like aura reading or it's stealth builds or whatnot, like or it's a chase build and it's Spirit Fury and you're breaking pallets and such. But yeah, it's a variety, and the reason they're nerfing these is because they want to shake up the meta, and they want to shake up the meta because that's people are using those perks to win, and for the MMRs to improve their MMR, and like that's just the core problem for DBD right now, I think, and I think they can iron out a lot more things, and people would be much happier if that MMR system really took into account everything you did in a game. So, yeah, I think that's the.
Thank you for taking my word salad and turning it into thoughts.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's what we all
You
do.
all had great ideas. Cool. Well, that is it for DBD related stuff. We want to get into listener emails now. So thank you all so much for sending in these emails. First up, we have a Blade follow-up from last week. Thank you so much
Oh my
for reaching
God.
back out, Blade. This is what Blade said regarding their email last week. Thank you for informing me about the fact that Jeepers Creepers creator is a piece of human trash. You're very welcome, Blade.
Yes.
I had no idea. From this point forward, the monster shall be known as Jeeper, seeing as how the real creeper wasn't even on the screen in the first place. Love what you did there, Blade. Great email. My replacement choice chapter would probably be a Sleepy Hollow chapter, running around as Headless Horseman and or Ichabod Crane would be pretty cool. I can't wait to hear the group's thoughts on the BTB. As an Xbox player, I don't have access to it, and I'm reading the constant Doom posting on Reddit, trying to say, yeah, at least. Thank you, Blade. Yeah, the BTB wasn't as bad as people thought. We're not getting those changes, so that's good. Thank you for your follow-up. That is great. Next up, we have Micah. Thank you, Micah, for sending us an email. Hey, I just started listening and I love the show. There are not a lot of DVD podcasts, and I love that. I found you guys. I was wondering what y'all would think about a shapeshifter killer or type of killer. I would love a shapeshifter killer, although I want to do the thing. I don't really necessarily want it to be original, but that's my first thought. The way that I see it working The way that I see it working is that the fog will be a lot thicker, so the differences and traps will be harder to spot. The killer would have multiple bodies like Unknown, but they are intangible-ish, being able to only injure survivors in the beginning, but becoming more powerful later in the match. These bodies could enter a locker and wait for a survivor to enter the locker and pull a survivor in. That is walking in front of a said locker. After either one of those happens, that body would morph into the survivor. That would be cool. That killer could then run around as a survivor, applying debuffs to others. There would be a small cosmetic proportional differences so that other survivors could tell the killer replay or in one of them. This killer could also possess little toys left around. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I don't want to lose my spot. With a thicker fog, there could be spikes around and their traps that the processed toys could jump scare survivors onto, dealing a hook state or hooking survivors directly. That would probably be very hard to code, but I like the idea, especially because this type of killer we don't have yet. Of course, there are going to be some problems, one of which would be if survivors have comms. Yeah, that's a big issue there is with any shapeshifter killer. People in Discord are just going to have a really easy time distinguishing the killer. If so, would survivors get notifications if there's a lot of stuff? But I just want to hear what you guys think. Love the podcast. Thank you so much, Micah. Yeah, again, I would like a shapeshifter killer. I kind of like what you have here with like little toys. I think like a toy, even not apart from the shapeshifter side, like a toys related killer, like a toy master or like a puppet master or kind of like something like that would be kind of cool. We have a Hound Master. But yeah, I think of like a toy carnival-ish. We have Clown, but he doesn't really do anything but other than throw gas. But what do y'all think about a shapeshifter? Go for it, Maddie.
One idea that not super close to the shapeshifting, but it really reminds me of a character from Identity V. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so
classic.
Stevie knows. Bryson, do you know?
I don't think so.
It's like a Chinese mobile game version of Dead by Daylight, but it's a bit more cutesy than horror. It is still horror, but it's a
Okay.
bit more cutesy. And one of the
Hmm.
killers who are called hunters in that game is the Dream Witch. I think her name is, I don't know her name. I just know she's called the Dream Witch. Basically, you can't see her as Survivor. She's completely invisible. And how she harms you is that there's like several little dolls around the map that she can possess, and they're around
Oh.
Survivor size, and they chase you. And it's really creepy because they don't have like red stain or anything. They just kind of pop up on you, and you're like, oh god. So I feel like that could be a really cool way for a shapeshifting killer, having like these mannequins that walk around, and you can't tell which one's a killer or not. It's like NPCs, like zombies, but they don't attack you.
Hmm.
But then all of a sudden you're like, oh hey, it's a puppet, and then just starts sprinting at you, and it's like, oh.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So I feel like that could be something. I feel like that'd be
Hmm.
cool. Yeah.
Steve,
That's all
any
I just
thoughts?
wanted to add.
It is a very Identity V killer to do like puppets and stuff. But
Exactly.
Puppet Master would be a fun one for DBD because we have like you control a minion, Houndmaster,
Mhm.
Knight, things like that. But
You get
if it's like
guys, you get it.
I like more of the you possess map elements, something
Yeah.
like that. Like every treasure chest has a doll on it, every generator has a
Ooh.
doll on it, and
Yeah.
the killer can like singularity camera through it and then send it
Ooh.
as a projectile.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
That's
that's way more of what I'd think of as a puppet master.
hmm
If a shapeshifter controlled
Yeah.
toys, I think that would be a little like, incongruous.
Yeah.
I like the idea of punishing a survivor and kind of stealing their look.
I take your
Hmm.
face.
Like not just like
Yeah.
a oh you pull out your, TF2 spy disguise kit and you pick disguise as Meg.
Yeah.
And then now you have to find someone who isn't Meg. I like the
Hmm.
idea of, maybe you put your terror radius on one survivor, and then now you're an undetectable version of that survivor. So
Sorry to
while
be a
that person is running to find help, everyone's running away from them, and then you can sneak up behind them.
sorry to be a buzzkill, but I feel like the one thing people have always said to that type of killer, sadly, is that survivor friends would just absolutely decimate them. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, the
Hmm.
killer swapped to Meg, and then one of their friends is like, oh yeah, the killer's pretending to be Meg. No one's gonna go to Meg. And I feel like at that point, there's
you
nothing you
need a
can
way to disorient them, or a continue the chase, right? If it's
do.
the
Yeah,
idea is you're taking their identity and then chasing someone else, hopefully they're not on the same, Discord call.
yeah.
But
I
if you
feel
could
like
use the disguise to get the person you started chasing originally, it could work better.
yeah,
It'd be
I
hard to
feel
do.
like a nice way they could kind of like remedy that though would be like allowing you to become other survivors, but also adding like NPCs and stuff, like mentioned before, and they would just kind of roam around randomly. All you gotta do is act like a bot, and then the moment they're like, "Oh, hi there, mannequin bestie, I'm gonna poke you," just attack them. Boom, easy, free hit. I feel like that would be a nice way to do it.
Yeah, reading this, it reminded me of another asymmetrical horror game that's actually in alpha right now called Carnival Hunt. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Essentially,
I've heard of it. Yes.
yeah, so you have the killer essentially, and I don't know what he is. He's like a he's like a puppet
Like a
kind of looking guy,
puppeteer,
but
circus later
yeah,
guy.
so like the whole thing was like service, and then the survivors are bunnies.
They're
But
so
he has like
cute.
all sorts of like it's an alpha. I think you can join early alpha if you
I
sign up for
think.
something. But it's set to release I think next year or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he has like different tools like he can lay out. Um, he can like TP like similar to the locker thing like I mentioned. Like he can TP to like these little tents that are around the map. And then he can also place like um decoy bunnies that are evil and like do his bidding and they act on their own, similar to like Knight's Guard. So that kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, and then he has to do something similar. He doesn't hook them, but if he grabs a bunny, he has to like hit them, and he has to do it twice or three times or something to get rid of them. But yeah, very very cool. If you're interested in another asymmetrical horror game, Carnival Hunt might be up your alley. I'm interested to see where that goes. But yeah, that kind of
Hopefully it
gave me
doesn't
those kinds
die
of
like
vibes.
almost every other
Yeah,
ASIM.
yeah.
The
I mean, they're going the right
curse.
direction. It's not licensed. It's original.
Mhm.
So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
And maybe they'll do licensed in the future. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll have Michael
absolutely.
Myers or something.
Carnival. Yeah,
Loy
Michael Myers at
Strudel Bunny
Carnival.
Toy.
Michael Myers comes to Carnival Hunt.
What?
Hey, he's in Call of Duty and Fortnite, so why not?
That's fair. Yeah.
Let's get into Chris's email. Thank you, Chris. Hey, I'm Chris. I'm so happy to hear a podcast finally that it's not only entertaining to listen to, but informative and done by creators and players
That's
who
really
actually
sweet,
enjoy
Chris.
the game. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Unlike other unnamed podcasts where all they do is hate on DVD the entire time, I'm curious to hear what other DVD podcasts
Hey,
you listen
it's
to.
easy to be an outrage merchant. It's hard to be a wholesome
Oh, the
chungus,
shade. Oh
give you
no.
good times merchant.
Oh, stop.
Um, I've played since Silent Hill Chapter, and I'm a killer main. My question is, which killer is absolutely not in your rotation, and who are your top, let's say, three?
Oh,
And what drove you to enjoy those killers over others, and what drives you away from certain killers? For example, I love playing Nurse because she breaks the laws of the game. Yeah, she very much not only breaks but ignores the laws of the game, and is very punishing if not done well, and punishing in other ways if done right. I hate playing the Singularity because I hate the macromanagement of the cameras. So, what are your top three and bottom three, and why? Stevie, you seem to be jumping
you
at the
want
bit.
to
I'll let
start
you
me?
go. Yeah, go
I
for it.
mean, yeah, if y'all need time to think on it, I'm pretty lined up. Top
Yeah, go
three
for it.
killers. The Pig,
No
Amanda
way.
Young.
Whoa.
Second, Houndmaster, Portia May. She's
Oh, okay.
awesome. And two, I gotta think about it. I don't want to say the wrong one, but yeah, it's Hillbilly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Nice.
am really good at Pig, and she is a lot of fun. And when I find myself in a losing match, I find myself with a lot to learn,
Mhm.
and it really encourages me to keep playing and do my best and like learn the fundamentals of being an M1 killer, run around circles better than survivors. I like that. I like being able to know exactly what a survivor's doing and beating them with the little amount of tools I have, but having like one tool that helps me a little bit in each situation. So, yeah, I'm not just approaching a gen to scare someone, I'm crouching so that maybe I can get a gen grab. I'm not just chasing someone to a loop and taking pallet control because it's strong. I'm taking pallet control so I can dash. And I'm not bringing slowdown perks because I already got some in my build. It's fun. The
Do
other
you have a
two
bottom three?
killers, oh, the bottom three, I should
Where are
get
the
on
buttons?
those. I,
If you need to
Who
think
are the
about it, we
worst?
can let Maddie go.
yeah, go to the favorite ones first. I'll think about
Okay,
the bad ones.
go for it, Maddie.
Okay, to no surprise, my top three are Springtrap, I know, crazy.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah, the Lich, also known as Vecna, and the Dredge. Springtrap, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. My name is Springtrap main on Steam, but I just really love FNAF. I love Springtrap as a character, so I just really like him. But I also just really like using that fire axe. It feels really satisfying with the amount of weight and just getting cool shots. Like I still think about the time I was like on not Correspondence Island, but the Shard Square map, the one with the two floors.
Oh, yeah.
There's Survivor and Shack. I just kind of used my axe because I had like the add-on that has a little target, and it just like barely got her, and I felt so cool. I was like,
Nice.
Yeah.
yes. My second favorite, Vecna, he was my favorite for a long time. Well, long time for a year before before Springtrap came out. But I just really like the micromanaging aspects of him. I know that it's not for everyone, but like I like having four different spells and having to like think about which one would be the best to use in this scenario. And just kind of like being outsmarty. I don't know. I feel like I kind of get into the character effect a little bit where I'm like, I'm 10,000 steps ahead of you.
Impossible geometry.
Impossible geometry. Exactly. Like, you don't know the satisfaction of hitting skeletons on someone dropping a pallet. It's like, I know you're going to do that. I know you weren't going to read it. And I got hit. Feels nice. And my last favorite killer would be Dredge, obviously, my Pookie Bear, my Shayla. I just think he's really cool. I think he's really neat. I like the locker stuff. I've always kind of wanted a killer that's around lockers. So seeing when he came out, I was like, yo. And also, there's no amount of enthusiasm, excitement, happiness that can ever top the feeling of getting someone out of a locker when you're
Yeah.
crawling inside of it, and then seeing that cool animation where they're like in the locker, like, oh my god, and you're doing like the whole 360. It makes you feel like a monster, and it just feels so cool. I just like
I
those
love when
type
it
of
happens kind of randomly too. Like you're not even trying, and you just like TP to a locker,
yeah, it's like
and it just happens. It's like, oh,
party
wow,
mode,
okay,
Fen was
thanks.
in there? Wow.
It's like
Lucky me.
surprise. It's like a
and
gift.
my bottom three are all kind of sad. It's Hillbilly, I'm sorry, Trapper, and Nurse. Those are my bottom three.
Mm.
All the kind of original ones. Trapper,
Yeah.
he's just really bad. I don't like killers that kind of don't have a power for an amount of time.
Yeah.
Hillbilly is purely a skill issue. I suck with him. I played maybe 3 games with him. I lost one, drawed one, and won one, and I was like, that's enough. Like, I could learn this, but I also can't. Because for some reason, I can't hit my chainsaw on survivors, but when I don't try, I do, and it makes me kind of angry, so I
Correct.
don't play that. And Nurse, she's got really cool skins. I just feel gross playing her because either I get absolutely demolished or I
Yeah.
absolutely demolish others. And it
Mhm.
doesn't feel like I'm ever on a fair playing field. It always feels like one of us is at a disadvantage. So, yeah, nothing. But that's just how
Yeah.
I feel.
Well said.
Top 3,
Uh,
bottom 3.
You, Bryson?
Yeah, my top 3, one, Trapper.
Oh.
I genuinely enjoy playing Trapper. I
The
like setting up
Trapster.
traps. I like when people
Mm.
step in traps. It's really satisfying. Trapper's better in 2v8 because you snowball really easily. Just trap one side of the
Yeah.
map. Later in the match, that they have to migrate over there, and they're essentially fucked. So, love that about him in 2v8. 1v4, he's a miserable to play, although I play him nonetheless. I think he's like my third most played killer. 2 would be sorry, he would be 3. 2 would probably be oh my god, Michael Myers, although that's probably going to change if this update goes through.
Yeah.
He'll probably drop to the bottom, unfortunately. And then my main is Xenomorph. I think I
Alien.
mentioned on the
Yes.
pluggers. Yeah. Love the tunnels. The tail whip is satisfying to hit. You can also get really good hits, and Xenomorph has some of the best cosmetics in the game. So yeah, love that. Bottom 3, Oni is probably one of them. I suck with Oni. I'm really bad. Earning your ability just feels really bad. I know that I'm saying that when I just said Trapper, when I have to go pick up traps. Although Oni just feels worse, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just worse with him. And then when I go into rage mode, like, everyone hides, and I don't get any value out of it. So, and I can't flick to save my life. 2, probably Skull Merchant, and that's kind of that's probably a low hanging fruit one. She
Yeah.
just doesn't have a power right now. But also, I just really, really dislike every other aspect of Skull Merchant in terms of her lore, her base design. She's got cool cosmetics, but just like not enough for me to like her. And 3, I don't know. I guess I don't want to be this person, but the Ghoul. Like, I've not played the Ghoul at all. I played one game as the Ghoul to get Adept, got it, and then I haven't touched him since. And I play against so many Ghouls that I just like, I don't want to put that on other survivors. I'd rather much play someone else. So yeah, those are my top and bottom 3. Stevie, your bottom?
Oh,
Your
my bottom 3.
What?
Your bottom 3? Sorry.
What?
Was that type of podcast now. I'd say probably for me, I will never touch these killers.
Yes.
Ken Kaneki, I don't feel like I'd have fun like chasing people as him. It'd be
Yeah.
a lot of like, okay, well I got my free hit, now it's time to just M1 someone down.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I'd have way too much fun just zipping around the map to try and actually like play the game. And then Hag is probably another one. It's like
yeah.
I love playing Trapper. I love the setup. I love the lethality of a bear trap. But the Hag traps, I'd probably just need to sit down and watch videos on here's exactly where you put the trap to get a hit on a window vault. Here's exactly what you do when you know someone's gonna step on a trap, and not for me.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too slow and map control-y. I like
Yeah.
to chase people until they go down instead of keeping my territory.
Just gonna add, I quickly scratch out Trapper. I totally forgot Hag existed. Hag is
Yeah.
Trapper's
Hag.
place. Alright, continue, Stevie, sorry.
She seems fine, but like to go against, it's okay. She's probably just gonna put 3 traps on your hook, but it's okay
Yeah.
to face her. But I don't want to play her. I'm probably not gonna pick her up if I had to pick every other killer first.
Yeah.
Someone
there's-
else in that list? Ooh, twins.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
feel like,
Ooh.
unfortunately, she's fine lore-wise, but mechanically, it just seems so clunky, so buggy. I would never pick them up willingly to play them.
Bye, Victor.
Yeah.
Bye, Victor.
Great picks. I didn't even think about Twins or Hag. Those are solid picks, and
Yeah.
definitely near the bottom for me as well.
I just
so.
wouldn't put someone up against me in a Hag or a Twins match. I wouldn't do that to a random 4-stack. I wouldn't
Oh,
put
wait,
them
I can't wait
against
to play
that.
a fun game of Dead by Daylight.
And then you hear the
Well,
Victor sound
intimidating
effect.
Twins main was behind me
Ah.
all along.
I hear that.
Yeah,
I hear
5
that
seconds into a
terror
match and you hear the
radius.
Victor summon. How do you feel?
It's like, well, I'm getting slugged or camped, one of the two, probably both. Yeah, really great question, Chris. I love this. Um, yeah, Singularity, your micromanagement cameras. I've played a lot of Singularity before. I love Singularity. Very hard to master. A lot of Singularities I go against, they like to camp gens. That's not how you play Singularity. You play him as a chase killer. He's great as that. Put on like Hubris and Spirit Fury or something like that.
Never
You'll go
take off
places.
Rapid Brutality.
Yes. Rapid Brutality is very good on Singularity. If you want a good build, Singularity is great with Rapid
You're
Brutality.
rarely turning on Bloodlust. You shouldn't be stuck in a chase that long. You should be always constantly swapping pressure. If you get a hit and swap to someone else, now they have to deal with you going fast.
But I totally get it. It sucks when you want to TP to via
You have to
camera and your camera's
1v4.
EMP.
There's no other way.
Yeah. So great email, Chris. Thank you for that. Finally, we have James. Hello, I've just found your podcast over the past week, and I have binged listened to 8 of the episodes so far.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Chris, or James. Excuse me. I love everyone's vibe is wholesome, and I love how people respect each other's opinions. What do you mean? I don't respect anyone's opinions. I'm kidding. Y'all wonderful.
yeah, y'all all suck. What do you
You guys
what?
suck. I have a super important question. This may be the most integral question we answer tonight. Who would win in a battle? Non-violent, of course, although I might tweak that a little bit when I give my argument. 100 Meg mains or 100 Sable mains. Love the content. Keep being yourselves, sending lots of love into the fog. Thank you, James. So who would win in a battle? 100 Meg mains
Non-violent.
or 100
Non-violent.
Sable mains?
I already know who.
Go for it,
I
Maddie.
thought about this long and hard since you mentioned this, Bryson. And it would be the Meg mains. Here's my reasoning. One, they specifically said Meg mains or Sable mains. Not Meg or Sable, the characters, they're mains.
Oh, yes.
Sable mains are too busy looking up the skirt and gooning Sable. So they're not going to have
The
time to do their
gooners.
invocations. Meg has sprint burst and adrenaline. So depending on what time this happens, they're rushing them down. Like Sable is like trying to do a spell, the people are gooning her, and then Meg is like sprinting at you. She's an athlete. She's going to catch up to you. And we're saying non-violent, so we're going to say like whoever like pats the other's back or something, they're out. Meg is
Right.
coming
I'm
down for
imagining touch football or chess.
Yeah, it's like touch
or...
football.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
Yeah.
Sable, I'm sorry, she's like a goth girl, and I don't know if this says in her lore. I don't remember it. She's not very physically fit. Like she's skinny, but she's not going to be like tackling people down like athletes like Meg. Meg is gonna like
It's the Meg
beat her.
mains.
Sorry.
The Meg
Meg-
mains in real
Meg-
life are playing her because they like basketball.
Yeah.
They're
And,
playing
like, there's
her
a
because
difference
they
between
like
a
her.
Meg head and someone who's new to the game playing Meg and a Meg main. Meg mains are dedicated. And for that, I say Meg mains beach, Sable mains. Stevie, what is
No,
your
it's definitely the consideration of what is the bounds of this battle, right? Non-violent really sets the stage for something more intellectual, right? A
Ooh.
little more of an athletic challenge. So I think that the Meg players are more likely to be well-rounded individuals.
Yeah.
I think the Sable mains probably aren't the best at video games, but okay, on average, we'll just say that.
Yeah,
But
on
in real life, they're probably very nice people. All you Sable mains, you're probably great to hang out with. I'd hang out with 100 of you. But I think you would agree that if you were in a Super Smash Brothers tournament against 100 Meg mains, you wouldn't make top 64.
Oh my god.
I think the Meg mains are cracked gamers who excel at every challenge you put in front of them.
Yeah.
They might be a little more sweaty than the Sable mains.
Mhm.
But I think in this non-violent battle, if it was violent, however, I think the Sable mains might get a little more rabid. So I think that's a good boundary. I think the violent limitation, the violence being not part of this, means the Sables don't have a chance.
Oh yeah. All right, Bryson.
Yeah, for me, there are a lot of Sable mains. Sable is the most played Survivor character, and they get a lot of hate. And I would say all that hate is valid.
Love guys.
Because you have so many, I mean, the choice I have is 100 megs. Like, they would win in a heartbeat, I think.
Yeah.
If it were violent, I think the 100 megs would also win, just because
Okay.
I think Meg has seen more shit than Sable ever will in her lifetime. But if you're if you're doing this like mathematically, like you're going to randomly select 100 Meg players, mains and then 100 random Sable mains, you're likely going to get a lot of new people with Sable mains, whereas Meg mains are probably, I've been playing the game for years. That sounds weird, but like when new players start and they look at the survivors, it's like, oh, the Sable goth girl, she looks really cool. Like a lot of people gravitate towards her. So
Yeah.
Right.
it makes sense for a lot of new people to play her. Of course, Meg is within the OG4, but like I think if you're sticking with Meg, you're dedicated and you're pretty damn good. Plus, her
Yeah.
perks are solid. Like she's got some solid
Yeah.
perks. So and Sable's got an invocation, which you can waste your time in the basement doing, but it's whatever. But yeah, I totally with you all. I think 100 Megs wins this one out. No offense to the Sable mains.
Mhm.
Sable's got great cosmetics. I get it. Like, and I make fun of Sables a lot. I'm sure like Stevie said, I'm sure you're wonderful people to hang out with. So yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on
I
that.
will
So
quickly add, only one of these characters was a background character in Night of the Living Dead, and it wasn't Sable.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
Mhm.
true. Who's going to be in the
Oh,
DVD movie? Probably not Sable.
Wouldn't that make it like a background
Although,
character or like a
let's
minor
see.
character? Come on.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a
true.
character that popular has to show up and be like, "Don't worry, guys, we won't be Dead by Daylight. We'll get out of this alive."
She said the line. She said the line. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 12. Listeners, viewers, we greatly appreciate your support. Don't forget to leave us a review and share the podcast with a family member or friend. Send us an email if you'd like all the individuals before you. We really appreciate it. Send us topic ideas, send us questions, send us funny debates like 100 Megs versus 100 Sables. Great conversation here. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you all for listening and viewing. We'll see you in the fog next week.
Yeah. Also,
Bye,
thank you,
everyone.
Blade, Mika, Chris, and James for your emails. You may
Thank
get
you
me
all.
personally if you send an email. Whoa!
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.